I'm Sister Carol Perry, and this is my story. I'm a Roman Catholic nun. I'm a sister of St. Ursula of Tours, and we are currently at Marble Collegiate Church, where I have been the resident Bible scholar for the past 3 decades. I probably became a Bible storyteller when it occurred to me one day when I was very new at Bible study that the people on that printed page were real people. And I felt this great power in them that I wanted to share with other people. So I made a promise to myself that if I ever had the opportunity to retell Bible stories, I would do it from the point of view of the reality of these people. The Bible is the source of almost every story that has ever been written. I am increasingly both amused and delighted to discover that the plot of every great story has already been told. And whether one comes to the Bible through faith, or whether one sees it as a vital piece of important world literature, the story remains. The plot, the characters, they are all enticing, I would say, to anyone who loves a good story. As a woman, I am particularly attracted to the women in the Bible. We find women with a sense of adventure, such as Rebecca. We find women of courage in times of enormous difficulty, like Deborah. We find women with a great sense of humor. Women whose struggles, whose hopes, whose dreams, such as Ruth had, to live elsewhere and perhaps do something no one in her family had ever done before. It's women like this who can become models for us today, we who live in a different world and under very different circumstances. I think one of the amazing things about living in a technological world, which is the one today, is the fact that my storytelling now has a much larger audience than just the people who sit in front of me on a Sunday or a Tuesday. Through live streaming, I now have people who listen to my Bible stories. So we have a bigger world for our story. It's very humbling in one sense to think that the story goes out like that. And it's also extremely exciting. I've always felt that storytelling changed lives because I've seen my students take a story, take a phrase from a story, and put it in another perspective. I had a student whom I had for a couple of years in English class, and when she got to be a senior, she came to me with a college essay that she wanted me to edit for spelling purposes. And she was a youngster just a little bit outside the norm. She didn't walk to the same drumbeat as every one of her classmates. But she had a sentence in that essay that struck my heart, and I never forgot it. She said, "They say you can't put a square peg into a round hole. But," she said, "I think you can if you just make the hole large enough." And I never forgot that, because to me that was telling the world that she had a story. And she was that peg. And if the world just opened up enough, she too could fit her story into the world story. To me, that's the power of a story.